Okay.
ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Am I audible? Okay. I offer my most humble obeisance to my spiritual master who has opened my eyes, which were blinded by ignorance with the light of knowledge. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vigna Vinasha Narsimhas Iti Namine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. So this is the translation. It's a prayers to Srila Prabhupada. So I will just read for you. I offer my respectful obeisance unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna on this earth, having taken shelter at His lotus feet. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Our respectful obeisances are unto you, O spiritual master, servant of Saraswati Goswami. Prabhupada's spiritual master's name is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, or Saraswati Goswami in short. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries, which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. Okay, so maybe for the next few days, everybody can turn to recite. Okay, this is Panchatattva mantra, prayers for the Panchatattva. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. I offer my respectful obeisance unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Pandit, Sri Vas Thakur and all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. देवकी नंदन कृष्ण गीता पतेन तुष्यति यथा न वेदे दानेन यज्ञातीतावृतादिभिः. The son of Devaki, the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, cannot be satisfied by anyone's study of the Vedas, charity, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita. I bring to you Lord Nrsingadev from Mayapur. This is Ugra Nrsinga. Wonderful story behind this Lord Nrsinga. Okay, and then today we go to Houston, bringing to you to it's also called Hare Krishna Dham. So it was incorporated in 1972. So initially they were using deities' pictures for worship. Later in 1974, they have moved to a bigger facility and they installed Sri Nitai Chandra and Sri Chaitanya Chandra. So these are the deities. These are Gaura Nitai. So we know, right? This is Gaura and Nitai. Krishna and Balaram. And then in 1984, they moved to an old church. Means they took over an old church and then they installed Radha Krishna. So their name is Sri Radha Neela Madhava. Okay, in 1986, they installed. And then you remember, just now we watched Govardhan Hill, right? So it is some devotees, they bring back the stone, the rock from Govardhan, and then they worship. So it is called Giri Govardhan. So in 1989, they installed Giri Govardhan. You can see some monkeys here. I think there were some festivals. And they have, in 1992, they've got a small deity. Their name is Sri Radha Giridhari. So they arrived in Houston Temple in 1992. So let's come back to Malaysia. So the program is dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So we'll start with Gita Mahatmya. Jayanti, sis, you're there? You want to try? Are you able to unmute?
Sorry, sister. Okay. Shall I start now?
Can. Yes.
गीतायश्च न जानाति पातानं नैव पातनं सा एव मनुष्यलोके मोगकर्म करो भवेत्. A person who knows nothing about learning and teaching the Gita is failure in duty of the human form of life. Thank you.
Hey, wonderful. You were so scared. You did very well.
Thank you.
Okay. Alright, so this is from Vaishnava Tantriya Sara. It is said that when you buy a TV or an appliances, every appliance comes with manual. So like that, when we enter this earth, we want to have a manual, and that manual is Bhagavad Gita. So just like how you cannot effectively operate an appliance without the manual designated or given by the manufacturer, it's very difficult to use the appliances. So like that, a learned person wants to lead a good life, all right, to carry out the duty of the human form of life. He has to learn Bhagavad Gita, all right. So the next level is you want to share about the knowledge in Gita to others. Okay. All right. So we are in the third section of Bhagavad Gita. All right. The first section. Okay, before I go on, we need to understand that the entire Bhagavad Gita is actually about bhakti. All right, so there are 3 sections. All right, who can tell me what are the 3 sections? Let's have a fast response. Rapid round.
Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga.
Correct. Okay, so the first section is to achieve bhakti through work, chapter 1 to chapter 6. All right, and then the last section is to achieve bhakti through knowledge, Jnana Yoga. Okay, the middle one, Krishna carefully hidden this, right? The most secret, the most confidential knowledge, you know, the title of the chapter 9. Chapter 9 is the peak, isn't it? Let's say if you imagine Bhagavad Gita as a mountain, so 9 is at the peak. So that is the means and the goal. Bhakti is the means and goal. All right, for here, to achieve bhakti is the means is the work. Here, the means to achieve bhakti is knowledge. But to achieve bhakti itself, you require only bhakti. All right, that it's simplest and faster. This is the elevator, lift. All right. So we call the section that we are going to do now Jnana Yoga. All right, Jnana Yoga. What is the use of Jnana Yoga? All right, Jnana Yoga has its use. It's going to assist us to detach ourselves from Maya, and then it's going to encourage us to attach to Krishna. Okay, so when we utilize this knowledge as a means to attain devotion, it becomes a part of bhakti. So as you can see, everything starts through work, right? Karma Yoga means through work. You're performing work, you know, duties and detached from results. And then through knowledge, later we will see a lot of differences between us and the Supreme Lord and this body and all this. It's like more like an expansion or spin-off from the chapter 2. Basically, you have learned all this in chapter 2 in a condensed form. So now Krishna is expanding. All right. So basically, Jnana Yoga, we want to utilize this knowledge to attain devotion. All right. So why the Jnana Yoga is still provided? Why Krishna didn't, stop here? Without the touch of bhakti, both karma and jnana is not effective. Okay, so this is another reason why the discussion of bhakti comes in between, because it remains in contact between both. All right, karma yoga and jnana yoga. So thus lend them the value. So jnana yoga provides value to bhakti. Okay, so let's move on to the chapter. Okay, okay, I think, all right, yeah. Okay, so basically the summary of this chapter is one who understands the difference between body, soul, and super soul. These 3 terms we're going to hear very, very often today, right? Beyond them, both attains liberation from this material world. So this is the objective of our lesson today. So why we are learning this? Because by understanding this, by acquiring this knowledge, we want to liberate from this material world. We want to go out, get out. Okay, right, so 13.1, Navin Prabhu. Okay, Navin Prabhu is not here. Okay, let me read. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetram Kshetrajñam Evacha Etat Veditu Ichchami Jnanam Jneyam Cha Keshava. Okay. Arjuna is asking 6 questions here. All right, so you can see there are 6 places I have underlined. Oh, my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti. Prakriti means nature. I want to know about Purusha. Purusha means the enjoyer. Number 2. Is question number 2. I want to know about the field. What is field? And I want to know who is the knower of the field. You have an object and you want to know who is the knower of the object, right? I want to know what is knowledge, and I want to know what is the object of the knowledge. I want to know what is the knowledge and what is the purpose of this knowledge. Who is the purpose of the knowledge, or what is the purpose of the knowledge? Okay, so these are the 6 questions. Okay, let's see this. I put in perspective for you. Question 1 and question 2, Prakriti and Purusha, Krishna is going to keep to the end of this chapter. He's going to explain this later. So first, Krishna will answer what is the field, what is field, what is the knower of the field. And then he will talk about, he'll answer the 5th question, what is knowledge, all right, in these few slokas here. And he will explain what is the object of knowledge. And then he will go to nature and enjoyer. This is Kshetra, Kshetra Jnana. This is Jnana. Okay, no, sorry, this is Kshetra, Kshetra Jnana. Jnana means knower, knowledge, Jnana. This is Jnayam. Okay, later I will give you, yeah, it's here actually. Right, nature is Prakriti, enjoy is Purusha. Kshetra means field. Kshetra Jnana, knower of the field. Jnana, knowledge. That one is very straightforward, right? Jnayam, object of knowledge. These are the 6 questions that Krishna asked. Okay, so Krishna kept this to the end because it is said that it's a little complex. Alright, so Krishna will give the rest of the answers first. So let's move to the answers. 13.2, Rasini Mataji. If you, yeah, you can try Mataji, no problem. Come nearer. Not so audible, Mataji. I can hear you. Can you recite? Oops, what's that?
That was good. Can you hear my voice, Mataji?
Yeah, I can, but very, very far.
Wow. Can I continue, Mataji?
Yes, okay, can.
Sri Bhagavan Huvacha. Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetram Iti Abhidiyate Etatyo Veti Tamsaho Kshetrajna Iti Tatvidaha Kshetrajnam Chati Mam Vidhi Sarva Kshetresu Bharata Kshetrajna Jnanam Yattat Jnanamatam Mama.
Okay,
The
perfect.
Supreme Personality of Godhead says, this body, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. O scion of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion.
Okay, just give me 1 second. My girls are so loud. I couldn't tell her. Okay, so here Krishna is answering Arjuna's 3rd, 4th, and 5th question. Remember, question 1 and 2, Krishna is going to keep to the end. Okay, so Krishna is giving direct answers here. The body, our body, all right? Our body is called the field. This is the field, all right? Like the farmer has a field, right? Okay, so like some fields will be very productive, can grow rice, crops, and nice grains, all right? But some fields are not very good. The ground is not fertile, so no matter what you grow, you don't get much harvest, all right? So in the same way, the living body also, the living entities also will have different bodies, all right? So next, Krishna answers, who is the knower of the field? One who knows this body is called the knower of the field. So this is our body. So who is knower of this body? Us. We are the knower of the body. So you can call ourselves as the living entity or the soul. Okay. Also the field, the body can be in any form. It can be in human form of life, or it can be animal form of life. Okay, so the body basically that's the field, and the person residing within the body is the knower of the field. All right. Okay. However, there are two knowers of the body. All right. Krishna answered this one, right? Field. And then he answers knower. So far we have known one knower, and then there is another knower. Krishna say, I am also knower in all bodies. All right. Because we are the spirit soul. So we are empowered by the supreme soul. All right. So in our heart, there is us, the living entity, spirit soul, and also Krishna as the super soul. So there are two knowers in the body. So far follow, yeah, Krishna answering 3 questions. Okay. So to give this as an example, I have an example to illustrate this. Okay, so you can see here the difference between tenants and landlord. All right, say we are renting an apartment. We only know our unit, our apartment. All right. However, the owner of the apartment, he knows all the units in his apartment. All right. Okay, so if I'm renting, I only know about my own apartment. I don't know anybody else's apartment. My pain and pleasure, you may not know. Your pain and pleasure, I will never know. All right. So like that, because we're only aware of what's happening in our field, in our body. However, Krishna, as he extends into all other living entities, he knows about everything. Okay, as Paramatma, he is residing in our heart. Okay, so basically we only know our body, and Krishna knows everybody's body. So there is a difference between these two knowers. Okay, first we understand what is body, is the kshetra, the field, and then we have two knowers, one is spirit soul and one is super soul. Okay, so this is the difference between Ishvara and Jiva. Remember today I say we're going to learn about Ishvara, Jiva and Ishvara. You all can relate, right? The 5 topics, Ishvara, Jiva. Okay, rapid question now. Who can list me down that 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita? Cepat.
Kala?
Alright, Kala. I already given 2. Jiva, Ishvara. Okay, Amuda Mataji given Kala. 2 more. We are also going to learn something about that. Jiva is Atma, Mataji. Jiva, Karma, yes. Kala dan Ishvara. One more. I know. Repeated so many times. Prakriti, yes, correct. Okay. Ishvara, Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti, Karma, and Kala. 5 topics. So wherever you go in this Bhagavad Gita, somehow you can relate that information to these 5 topics. So when somebody asks you, what did you learn in Bhagavad Gita? I learned about 5 topics. And then easily you can start explaining, because otherwise you wouldn't know where to start, isn't it? It's like a lot. But if you have these 5 things in your fingertips, then you will know. You can just pick one and speak whatever you have heard. So like that, you can share the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita with others. So it's very purifying and very beneficial. This is already doing a Kirtanam. You have gone through Sravanam. You are doing Sravanam now. Later you can do Kirtanam to others. Okay, so another example is a farmer. A farmer similarly only knows about his land. Alright, he harvests his own land, he plants, he plows it. So he knows only about his land. But the farmer received his portion of land from the king. So the king has so many lands, parcel of land, and he knows what's happening in all the land. So this is the point. In this way, we can explain the relationship about relationship of 2 knowers in the body. One is super soul, one is individual soul, the Jivatma. Okay, all right. And because the Lord pervades in all the living entities, we are to see everybody equal, the same. Can anybody recall one Bhagavad Gita verse to indicate that in other place Krishna said that we have to see everybody equally? Any term that you remember from the sloka, it's okay if you can't recall the Sanskrit verse or the chapter number, but can you recall something like the picture or some term or some word from the verse? We learned this in chapter 5. I'm not sure, did I share this yesterday?
Mataji, all living
Yeah.
equivalent.
Equal what, Mataji? Equal what?
Don't know.
Yes, you are there. You are there. It's called equal vision. Who's that? I'm gonna give you. Congratulations. Yes, it's if you have Bhagavad Gita, you can quickly flip to 5.18 and somebody can put the translation in the chat box, then we will catch up. Okay, so that's why I always want you to have Bhagavad Gita, so you can quickly flip and just give me the translation so everybody can learn what exactly Krishna said with regards to seeing everybody having Paramatma inside their heart. Okay, so you understand Jiva and Jivatma and Paramatma. All right, so I have a story to show how this devotee literally sees God in everybody. All right, so this is the story about Kanakadas. Okay, so I got this comic. I'm so sorry if it's very blur, but I will explain so you know what is happening in the story. Okay, so Kanakadas was a poor Brahmana. Sorry, he was not a Brahmana, he's a shepherd. Okay, so one day Kanaka was cooking. All right, suddenly a street dog came in and picked up a roti. The moment Kanaka turned to the dog got frightened and the dog dropped the roti and ran off. He ran off. So you know what Kanaka did? He took the roti that the dog took, tak jadi makan. He ran behind the dog. Come back and take this. And so Kanaka ran after the dog. And then the people around were watching that strange event. Why is he running behind the dog taking the roti? So they all asked him, why are you running after the dog, Kanaka? Then Kanaka said, this is what Kanaka said, God came to my house and went away without accepting the roti. So everybody started laughing. Ha ha ha, Kanaka is calling the dog God. All right. And then somebody say he is mad. All right. But this one is not Bhagavad Gita as it is, right, Mataji? Is it Vidya Vinaya Sampan? Okay. All right, we'll come to that later. All right. And then this incident is being watched by their guru. The guru's name is Vyasa Tirtha. And he immediately understood the mood of Kanaka. He says, Kanaka sees God everywhere and in everything. He is a true worshipper. Means literally Kanaka is seeing everybody as God. Okay, that means he sees God in everybody. Okay, so with that, Kanaka became a very favorite student of the guru. All right, so Kanaka became the favorite disciple of Vyasatirtha. The other disciples soon became jealous of him. And they say, oh, he doesn't know the scriptures, or he's of a low birth, a shepherd. And then another person say, yet he is our master's favorite. So the guru is aware of such talks going on among the disciples. So he wanted to teach them a lesson. He wanted to show the glory of Kanakadas. So he decided to do this. I will show the difference between Kanaka and the others. So what he did, he called all his disciples and he gave them banana to each of them. And he said, go to a secluded spot, all right, find a place where you are not watched by anyone and eat this banana and come back to me and report to me. All right, so everybody ran off. Somebody went to the top of the tree. Okay, I'm sure nobody can see me eating here. Another person went to a hay and said, good place. I will hide myself in the hay and eat. All right. And then after like this, one person went in underwater. So this is how they all ate banana, thinking that nobody is watching them. So all of them eventually they came back to the guru and say, we have obeyed your order, master. We have eaten the banana at places that nobody was watching. All right. Okay, good. Okay, so but where is Kanaka? Come forward, Kanaka. So he called Kanaka. No, this is Kanaka. Then the guru noticed that Kanaka has not eaten the banana. Then he asked, why haven't you eaten the banana yet? So Kanaka replied, how can I eat the banana master, unobserved by God. He is everywhere. So that way, Vyasatirtha, the guru, explained to all the disciples that, you see, for Kanaka, God is not just a name to be invoked in prayers. He is real and he is always present. So remember, it's a point to note. The guru is saying God is not just a name to be invoked in prayers. I mean, he's an integral part of our life. He's in everybody's heart. Okay. So actually in Udupi, this story happened in Udupi. So there's a temple in Udupi, and Kanaka was not allowed to take the darshan of the Lord. All right. And what he always do is, I think there was a movie, it's a Telugu or Karnataka movie, I'm not sure. He will stand behind the temple and he will sing, he will pray and he will sing, he will cry and everything. Suddenly, the wall behind the temple will crack, and from there he can see the Lord, and the Lord actually turned to see him through the crack. Okay, so like that, Krishna was pleased by the worship of Kanakadas. He created a small hole in the back wall of the temple and turned to face the hole so that Kanaka could see him. All right, so the hole is now, it's like this. It's called Kanakana Kindi. All right, so you then after that, the priest who takes charge of the worship for he actually, what they will do is they will see the Lord through this pot first, and then only they will continue with their worship. I've not been to this temple, but this is the story. Okay, right? So this is how Kanakadas literally sees God in everybody. Okay, now Krishna will go on to answer the question 3, 4, and 5. Okay, 13.6 to 7 is just a translation. Shalini Mataji.
The 5 great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, and the mind. The 5 sense objects: desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, and convictions. All these are considered, in summary, to be the field of activities and its interactions.
Okay, so we are entering science topic today. We're going to learn 5 senses, and we're going to learn more than what the science taught us today. So Krishna is going to be our science teacher today. Okay, so these are all elements that are present in our body. Okay, so our body generally categorized into gross body, something that you can touch, you can pinch, you can rub on, that is gross body. And there is subtle body, something that you cannot see. Okay, so for our gross body, we have all these things: 5 great elements, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, 5 sense objects. These are all taken from here. All right, this is listed down here. All right, if you total up all these, earth, water, fire, air, ether, eyes, ear, all this, you will get 24 elements. Okay, and the subtle body consists of mind, intelligence, false ego. All right, we all start from here, from unmanifested form, pradhana. So this one we will learn in chapter 14. So these are the 5 senses, the 5 senses. Okay, here this person here, let me try to focus. Okay, you can see mind, intelligence, and false ego. He's also made of air, fire, water, earth, and ether. Can't see ether here. All right. Okay. So we will move on to okay, before this, right. Okay, if you can see this one here. Okay, desire, hatred, happiness, distress. These are all interactions of gross body, some reactions that you can see, right? With our eyes, you can see, we can observe, right? And then there is interactions of subtle body. This one, life symptom. What is life symptom? Life symptom means the consciousness. False ego is we are thinking we are the doer, we are the, hold on, Amataji, I prepared. Just give me 1 second. False ego, where one is under the impression that I am the doer or I am one with this material world. Or it can also be said as we are still conditioned, means we thinking we are the doer, we are the controller, we are the owner. That's false ego. The actual ego is that we are spirit soul. So the opposite of that ego is false ego. Okay? And yeah, 5 great elements. This is important. So from there, we have all these knowledge acquiring senses, working senses. Okay, let me put that in perspective like this. So you can see all this here. Okay, so we begin from pradhana, unmanifested stage called pradhan. Okay, from the pradhan, we get the subtle body. So our soul is covered by 3 layers. All right, mind first, and then intelligence, and false ego. Okay, and then this is subtle, right? Okay, this one all gross, something that you can see. All right, and then on the left is the element of the gross body, earth, water. Let me show this one. Yeah, this one, right? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. All right, using our senses, we can actually perceive all this. How? You can taste the water, right? You can see the fire, the form, or feel the heat with your skin. Okay, with the air, we can feel the touch. All right, and earth has a smell, so we are engaging our nose to perceive that, to experience it. What else? Ether and air, same. Okay, ether is sound. Sorry, ether is sound. Ether is important in the telecommunication world to transmit sound, right? Okay, so that's how we perceive these great elements, Panchabhuta. Okay, and these are all our senses. So we know this one, right? Knowledge acquiring senses. Why this is called knowledge acquiring senses? Because when you perceive something, you are using your eyes. When you see something, oh, this is mom, this is dad, this is my child, this is school, this is office. So you are seeing, right? So like that, you are acquiring knowledge from that. And then from ears also, you're observing, you are listening, and then you're collecting information. Nose also. So same goes to all this, yeah? And then working senses. How your senses work by releasing voice. And then you have legs to walk, hands, anus, genitals. Okay? And then 5 sense objects. How your eyes work. Seeing the form, hearing the sound, smell, taste, touch. So this is science subject in brief. Okay. And then this is something different. You can see the soul here. The soul is covered by subtle body, and then it's covered by gross body. So gross body is us, like this body, right? Now subtle body, if you zoom out, it is covered by mind, intelligence, and ego. Okay, subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego. All right, what happens at the end of our life? At the end of our life, we will shed this one. We will shed this one. This will be perished. This is perishable, right? This will perish. And then our soul goes with subtle body. So what goes with us? This mind, intelligence, false ego. So this is where all our impressions from the previous life all come with us. Our consciousness, our mental state. All right, some memories also will be here, but exceptional, right? Some can remember, some cannot remember. All right, so just like air carries the aroma from a garden of flowers, it carries the aroma of the flowers from place to place as the air, as the wind blows, right? So our soul goes with the subtle body to the next gross body. So once this is shed, our subtle body and soul body goes and take another body. See, this will go on and on and on and on until we purify the mind, we purify our intelligence, we purify the false ego. Means we are not thinking about us on a self platform, on a material platform. So the moment this is purified, then we are pure spirit soul, and we shall be eligible to go to the spiritual world, back home, back to Godhead. All right, so now we are here to purify our gross body as well as the subtle body. So we are here because of that. So sometimes people want to, they say, okay, I think doing meditation is sufficient. Yeah, so meditation is basically to calm the mind. So it is here, what we are doing is just for the subtle body. All right. However, when you perish, when you shed this gross body, you're going to go on. You're going to go on. You're going to go on until you shed this as well. And we will remain this before we go to spiritual world, to liberate ourselves. Okay, to liberate ourselves from this material world. Okay, so faham ah? Okay, let's go on. 13.18, Krishna is answering question 6 now. 13.18, okay, this one I added, so I will read this. Now Krishna has actually, the chapter is very long, so this is fast forward. Krishna has been explaining, before this Krishna has been explaining the characteristic of the soul, super soul. He will say that he is transcendental, he is all pervasive, and he is all reconciling. So all this, I covered this in level 2 yesterday, we went a bit detailed. So then he will come to 13.18 to tell us, to conclude who he has been talking about all the while. So it finally, in text 13.18, Krishna clearly reveals the identity of the one who he has been describing, who is the Neyam, the object of the knowledge. He says, he is the, he is the object of knowledge. Here he will say, he is the source of light in all luminous objects, right? He's the source of the light of sun, moon, stars. All right, this establishes the fact that the super soul is not from this material world. He is far, far away. He is providing everything from far, far away. All right, and it is also supported by this line, beyond the darkness of matter. Matter is material world, but we are in here now is matter. That means he is beyond matter. All right, he is spiritual. What else? His knowledge, he is the knowledge. All right, he is the object of the knowledge. And he is the goal of the knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart, which means, another word is that he is the super soul. All right. So now we understood the field, which is the body, our body. And then we understood, we learned about the knower. The knower got two, the spirit soul and the super soul. So Krishna has been giving that the super soul is the object of knowledge. So we covered question 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so move to 13.19. Sharmila Mataji.
Okay. Iti kshetram tata jnanam neyam koktam samashata madbhakta etad vignaya madbhavayo papadyate. Thus the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature.
Okay, yes. So just like I always do recap, Krishna is also doing a recap here. Thus the field of activities, Kshetra, right? Knowledge, Jnana, the noble, all right, have been summarily, Kshetram, Jnanam, Neyam, have been summarily described by me. Right? Again, the field of activity means the body. Knowledge means to know the field of activities. Field of activities, what we went through just now, all the 24 elements and their interactions. And from their interactions, we develop all the different feelings. Remember the distress. Let me see. 13, right? Desire, hatred, happiness, distress. So all these are coming up because of the interaction of our senses. All right. So the senses are the reason for all these interactions. Okay. So knowledge means to know the field of activities and the knower of the field. So got two, right? Spirit soul and super soul. Okay. Knowledge means also to know that then later Krishna says this, only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. So it may sound difficult to understand all these technical terms, but Krishna said one who understands, a devotee able to cross this, he can understand this thoroughly and then attain my nature. So there's a nice story later. Okay. And those who are not endeavoring to understand Krishna, is very difficult for them to understand this. Okay. All right. So we move to yes. Knowable object of knowledge. Object Mataji. Nyayam. So earlier I gave the translation for Nyayam, right? Nyayam is object of knowledge. The purpose. So the purpose of the knowledge is to understand the interaction of the 24 elements in our body and the interaction of this body with the spirit soul. So these are all the object of knowledge, knowing this, understanding this. Okay, so we move to 1320. 1320, Sharmila Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Prakriti and Purusha are beginningless. Prakitam Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadi Ubhavapi Vikaramsha Gunam Chaiva Vidhi Prakriti Shambhavan. Material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So this is where Krishna is coming to answer the the last two questions. Actually, the first two questions, question 1 and question 2. He's talking about Prakriti. Prakriti is nature. Purusha. Purusha means enjoyer. All right, enjoyer. Union means the interaction between the material nature and the enjoyer. Okay, so earlier we saw the interaction of the body and the field of activities. All right, all the 24 elements, how they interact. All right, and because of that, we are developing some reactions and all that. All right, so there are gross interactions and subtle interactions and all that. So understanding that is that knowledge. Okay, and then who is behind it? The soul and the spirit soul and the super soul. All right, so now we move to this Prakriti and Purusha. So Krishna is saying the first point here is material nature and the living entities are beginningless. They have always been existing. The only difference is that they are in manifested or unmanifested form. Okay, so it's different, yeah. They are beginningless. However, there are changes. They undergo changes. All right, but material nature will go through transformations. Living entities don't. Soul does not change, only the body change. So how the body change? The body grows, it gets old, and then it produces some byproducts, and then it dwindles, and then it dies off. So there are actually 6 changes to the body. However, the living entity remains the same. The similarity between material nature and living entity is they are beginningless. Okay, however, the material nature goes through transformation. Okay, so again, material nature and living entity, they are beginningless because they do not take birth, they don't die, they are eternal. All right, however, the material nature goes through transformation because it undergoes some changes. Material nature is made of the 5 Panchabhutas, right? Sometimes they come in certain form and then they disintegrate and then they go off. So this is the changes, but however, they are always present, isn't it? Only the form has changed, right? So the material nature taken different forms: earth, air, water, fire, earth, ether, air, water, fire. All right, so they take different forms and then in due course they come apart. All right, living entities don't change. They take different bodies, different places, however, they remain the same. So this one we learn in chapter 2 already. And it's always the energy of Krishna. Okay, however, when this spirit soul comes in this material world, he comes under the control of the material nature. So there are 3 modes. You can see here the modes of matter: the goodness, passion, ignorance, or any influences the material nature. So we come under that influence. So this one we will learn later in chapter 14. All right. Only when he gets liberated, then he goes back to the spiritual world. All right. Otherwise, he's totally eternal. All right. Even though the spirit soul goes back to the spiritual world, we will always remain as a individual spiritual spark. There's no such thing as merging. There's no such thing as merging. The Bhagavad Gita refutes this. There is no such thing as merging. All right. We go back to Krishna. However, we always remain as an individual servant. Okay, so one point here is that material nature and living entities are beginningless, and transformation are due to the products of the modes of material nature. Okay, paham ya? Okay, let's move to 22. Okay, 22 I've added. All right. Okay, this is important, so that's why I added on my own. This is a continuation of the question 1, question 2. So earlier Krishna mentioned the material nature and living entities. Now we're going to talk about, we just did nature, right? We are now going to talk about enjoyer. So like Noah, we also have 2 enjoyer. So you might have already gotten the idea why there are 2 enjoyers. Okay, let's see. The living entity in material nature thus follows the way of life, enjoying the 3 modes of nature. So you can see enjoying. We are enjoying the modes of nature. We try to control it, we try to enjoy it. All right. And because of our contact, our bondage to this material nature, we develop certain traits. All right. So we learn good, and because of this contact and the bondage, the karmic reaction, and so on, we take another birth, another body continuously among various species. So this is because our association with that material nature. Okay, so this verse is very important to understand how the living entity transmigrate from body to another. Chapter 2, right? It is explained in second chapter, right, that the living entity is transmigrating from one body to another, just as one change dress. Okay. Why he's changing this dress is because his attachment to material existence still don't want to go up. So we will change the body, right? So the desire to enjoy, right? Our desire to enjoy this material world is the factor that binds us to this. The factor that binds Purusha and Prakriti. We are the Purusha, we are the enjoyer. Prakriti is nature. So the desire to enjoy is what binding us. Okay. So I'm really going slow, so you can take it in slowly. All right. So basically, this is about how a living entity transmigrate from one body to another. All right. So it binds to different bodies, association with the 3 modes. So how Krishna consciousness help is how this knowledge comes handy when we are learning this knowledge. All right. This bhakti or these regulatory principles or prescribed duties or understanding this interaction between our body, our self, the super soul and the 24 element, the activities, the interactions, and our attachment to this material world. So all this, it should bring us to a platform where we need to transcend this. All right. We need help to rise above 3 modes and become transcendental. Means we become not disturbed, all right, not coming under the mode of material nature. So how this change can be affected? Because we want to know, okay, how. So what is the practical way of doing this? Where do I start, Mataji? So the starting step is by hearing from authoritative sources. Only by hearing, we get the knowledge, just like how Arjuna gets the knowledge. Krishna says, hear again. He uses, right? That's why among actually there are many devotional services. Mahaprabhu identified 9 most important, and the most 3 is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Shravanam, hearing, Kirtanam, glorifying or chanting, Smaranam, remembrance, and then the first step of these 3 is hearing. Everything starts from hearing. Okay, so hearing from authoritative sources, and then we can move upward. Okay, so next is, okay, now you understand, right? Here that Krishna said about one enjoyer, which is us, the living entity. All right, and then he talks about another enjoyer. 1323. Tasvina Mataji. Not here, Mataji. Mataji, are you able to unmute? Tasvina Mataji, are you there? Okay, I think I will just read. Okay, I will read. Upadrastanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwara paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmin purushah paraha. So here Krishna is saying, as a super soul, he is also residing in our heart, being the permitter and the transcendental enjoyer. Right? As a transcendental enjoyer, he is the supreme proprietor who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. Okay, so I think I had this question on Saturday. So I was talking about the two birds. So one bird is enjoying this fruit and one bird is observing. So basically this verse established the relationship living entities versus super soul, the Paramatma. Why? Okay, some people think there is only one soul in our body, and that soul and super soul are the same, like I am God, you know, that theory. So this verse refutes that, and the earlier one, 22. So there is enjoyer, the little enjoyer, us, and then there is a supreme enjoyer, the transcendental enjoyer. So from here we can understand that there is no one soul, there are two souls in each living entity. So this is the picture here. One bird is eating, another bird is watching. Sometimes the fruit is sweet, sometimes bitter. So the bird is eating the fruit. Okay, so the living entity is our own self. The other one is the super soul who witnesses or the overseer or permitter, because we have the free will. Okay. All right. So, oh, sorry, this question was in yesterday's class. All right. So he is the enjoyer, Bhokta, enjoyer, and Maheshwara, the so yeah, Bhokta is enjoyer, Maheshwara is owns everything, and we are enjoyed by the Lord. We are enjoying material nature, but we are enjoyed by the Lord. All right, we are under the control of super soul. It means that we need to surrender to the super soul and take the guidance. So the super soul is just waiting when you will turn back, because you want to say, okay, I've given you the playground, I have also given you a manual, you know, for you to acquire knowledge. So now I'm just waiting for you to turn back to me. Okay, my internet connection is unstable, so let me know if it's, you know, not good. All right. Okay, so this is the summary of the questions and the answer in short. All right, so we have Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetranyan, Jnana, Neyam. Can anybody tell me Prakriti means what? Can you recall? Material nature. And then there are three modes. And can you tell me what are the three modes? Three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay. Material nature is basically made of the earth, water, all the five Panchabhutas, Mataji. That is material nature. And they function. Oh, you can't hear me? Am I audible now?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Just let me know if my line is bad. Okay, so material nature is made of the five elements. All this material nature, this creation is material nature. Okay, and it functions under the three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. All right, it influences one through these three modes. All right, so who is, okay, what is Purusha?
Enjoyer.
Very good. Yes, enjoyer. So there are two enjoyer. One is soul and one is super soul. All right, Kshetra. Kshetra. Today we overtime sikit ah.
Knowledge.
Kshetra. Kshetram. Mataji?
Feel.
Feel. Yes. What is feel?
The
What is that
body.
feel? Body. Yes. Who is the knower of the body?
The soul.
Correct. The soul. One more. That's two, right?
Super soul.
Very good. Betul. Correct. Okay, very good. Soul and super soul. Next, jnana. Very simple. What is jnana?
Knowledge
Knowledge, yes. Neyam.
is
All
the
right. The
object of
purpose
knowledge.
then, yeah, what knowledge, what is this knowledge? Okay, jnana is the knowledge is the translation for jnana. So what is the knowledge that Krishna gave us? To understand the field and the knower of the field, to understand the relationship. Okay. Neyam. The translation of Neyam is object of knowledge. So what is the object of knowledge? Is to understand the relationship between soul and super soul. Here the knowledge is knowing what is the field, what is the knower of the field. This one. What? Number 3 and number 4 is the knowledge. Alright, and who is behind, what is the object of this knowledge? Why we want to learn this? We want to understand what is the relationship between soul and super soul. We are thinking we are the controller, but we are not, right? The super soul is the transcendental enjoyer. He is the supreme proprietor, overseer, permitter. Okay, and he is called as the super soul. Okay, so basically here, Krishna already recapped for us. All right, and then we move to 26. This is a comfort for those who are not very conversant in spiritual knowledge. 1326. Divyashini Mataji.
Anye dvivamajananda shrutvin yevya upasate teti chati tarantyeva mrityum shruti parayanah. Again, there are those who, although not convincing in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death.
All right, thank you, Mataji. So one can ask a question. I can't do meditation. I don't understand the Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya yoga means analytical study between matter and spirit. All right. I can't do Niskama Karma Yoga. All this I can't do. So can I advance? So the answer is yes. Okay. So generally, ordinarily, people do not have the spiritual. Not everybody easily can assimilate this spiritual knowledge, because sometimes also because nobody is there to educate them about the soul, body, and all this information. All right, whatever we are learning now. So, but then when they hear from other people, their knowledge is awakened. Like you can see the Kanakananda, he was a shepherd. Later we will see another story. Okay, please stay. Okay, today overtime. All right. So by hearing, the life becomes perfect. Okay, so in Krishna consciousness, we give a lot of importance to hear about this. Hear about soul, the position of the soul, of the super soul, what is the real knowledge. All right, if you see the picture here, this is Devahuti. This is Devahuti. This is Kapila Dev. Devahuti is Kapila Dev's mother. However, she's taken the position as a student to listen from her son, her learned son. All right, so this is the power of hearing. And then here we have so many devotees gathered here to hear from a pure soul, a pure sadhu. So this is the power of hearing. Shravanam, also I mentioned earlier. All right, so every time Krishna gives this yoga knowledge, at the end he always says, through bhakti one can attain me easily. Through bhakti one is very dear to me. Among all the yogis, bhakti yogi is the best. So he always gives this kind of conclusion. So if you notice, right? So all of us may not be conversant in the spiritual knowledge, but we always have the tendency to hear from authorities. So that way we can transcend the path of birth and death. The only qualification is, remember, non-envious, like Arjuna, non-envious, be friendly, and we should be a good listener. So Shravanam will move us out. Okay, so this is the benefit of hearing. Okay, so now we come to a story. Okay, this is about a Narada Muni. This is about Narada Muni meeting two people in his journey. One is a cobbler, another is a Brahmana. All right, so long ago, Narada Muni met a cobbler. He was very poor. All right. So nearby this cobbler's house is a Brahmana, a learned Brahmana. Okay. But the Brahmana is very proud because he thinks he's a very high class person, learned person, and all that. All right. So the Brahmana heard from Narada Muni that he was going to visit Lord Narayan in Vaikuntha. All right. So, Narada Muni, he traveled planets to planets. All right. So Brahmana said, Narada Muni, can you please ask Lord Narayan now when I'm coming back to the spiritual world? Okay, because I'm doing a lot of pujas and I'm dedicating my life. So can you just ask him when I'm going to come back to Vaikuntha? Then Narada Muni said, okay. And then he went to see the cobbler. Then the cobbler said, oh, Narada Muni, you're going to see Lord Narayan. Can you also ask for me how many lifetimes I'm going to take so that I can also, return home? All right. So Narada Muni also went to see Lord Narayan. And then he asked questions from the cobbler and the Brahmana. So the Lord Narayana told the Narada Muni that tell the Brahmana that he has to take 100 lifetimes more. All right, and then he will come to me. But you tell the cobbler that he will come back at the end of this lifetime. All right, so Narada Muni was surprised. But Lord Narayana understanding, and then he said, and then you also tell them, they will be asking you what was Lord Narayan doing when you went to see him in the Vaikuntha. So you tell them that I was threading an elephant through eye of a needle, through putting elephant into a eye of needle. So Narada Muni also came to earth and he met the Brahmana and the cobbler. So Narada Muni told the Brahmana, the Lord told me that you will have to take another 100 births and then you will come back. So the Brahmana got very angry. He said, I don't believe you met Lord Narayan. All right, if you really met him, tell me what Lord Narayan was doing, if you really have met him. So Narada Muni said, the Lord was taking an elephant through eye of a needle. The Brahmana said, I knew you didn't go there, you crazy man. So like that. And then the Brahmana left with that fate. He went off. So Narada Muni now went to the cobbler. He went to the cobbler and he conveyed the message that Lord Narayana told him that he will come back to Vaikuntha at the end of this life. He will go back to spiritual world. Then the cobbler said, oh, so wonderful. Lord Narayana is so kind to me. And then the Narada Muni also said that the Lord, when I went, the Lord was threading elephant through an eye of a needle. Then when the cobbler heard it, he said, oh, how wonderful, Lord Narayan, so wonderful. He can do so many wonders like this, like that. All right, then Narada Muni said, really? Are you not surprised that he could do that? Do you really think he could actually do that? The cobbler said, no, I'm not surprised. You see this tree, because he works under a tree, such a big banyan tree. And he said, look at this tree. The Lord can plant a big tree in a tiny seed. So the Lord hidden a huge tree in a tiny seed. So why not? The Lord can also take an elephant through eye of a needle. It's not a big thing for him. So here we can see that the difference between a person who is learned and person who is not learned, but they got that. He's gotten the essence of the knowledge. So the cobbler had great faith, right? Even though he didn't have a good birth, or he's not very conversant in knowledge, but he's got the good understanding, which is the most important understanding, right? That means the Lord can do anything, super soul or Bhagavan, in any aspect. Okay, so that's the story. Okay, so we actually recap already the question. So basically, the Arjuna's 6 questions, and Krishna explains about the field, the knower of the field, and our understanding is that the field is non-permanent. We went through the gross body, right? All right, and then we saw the interaction between among the 24 elements. All right, Krishna explains the object of knowledge. All right, and then it is most fully understood only by devotees. Krishna used this term, Mad Bhakta. And then the first and second question, Krishna explains Prakriti, Purusha, and their union. That all good and bad events occur in matter because our interaction with the material nature. Okay, because what is the term I use? Desire to enjoy, right? Is what keeping us here. All right. However, the Supreme Purusha is never entangled like us. We are the ordinary Purusha. And how to easily understand this? is through bhakti. It's the easiest and the best part to understand this science. So understanding is important. All right, last slide. Oh holy name, you are manifested in two forms, right? Glorification on holy name. Krishna Namastakam. Namastakam means, Astaka means 8. So there were 8 verses of glorification on Krishna Nama. First is the Supreme Person described by the holy name and the sound vibration of the holy name. The person is Krishna himself, and then the sound vibration of the holy name. We know that the second form is even more merciful than the first, because although a person may commit many offenses to your first form, to Krishna's form, he will still plunge into the ocean of bliss by serving your second form with his voice. All right. So with our voice, we doing the chanting, so we'll still enter the ocean of bliss. Okay, so that's about it, Matajis and Prabhus. Chapter 13. How do you feel about this chapter? Is that okay? Are you all right? Okay, so Gita Kid and quiz. Okay, actually I've received, actually we got an instruction from the admin team that we are to request you all to spend 5 minutes now. So don't go to do your quiz. Okay, is that okay? I'm gonna send the quiz now. So please try to do it now, okay? Let me just hang on. Let me send the quiz. I have to look for it now. Chapter 13. Okay, just hang on. I always see the other full attendance for the quiz. Okay, please do now. You are here, 16 people here. Group 5, don't forget group 5. Subangi Mataji, you want to try? I sent to Sita the quiz link.
Yes, Akka.
I sent to you. Ask Amma to try.
Yes. I just got a message, Akka. I'll do it now.
Okay. Who's that? Aryan or Gaura?
That is Aryan.
Aryan,
Yes,
you can sing for us, Aryan. We want some entertainment, Aryan.
Perima, talk to Perima. Come on. Put you on the video.
Hello, Prima. Say,
Daddy.
hello. Sit nicely there.
Say hello, Perima. Now Perima can see you now. Perima can see you.
Look at.
Hey, you got a mustache. Wow.
So how are you?
Hi.
I'm so happy to see you.
And look at my
Dora,
Dora. I really like to disturb me, like to waffle, like to bother me, like to push me, like to stab me, like to poke my eyes.
Oh my God, so much of complaint.
Gaura. Gaura, come say Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, Sharmila Mataji, thank you.
Kasturika, you are in group what ka?
Five.
Five, huh? Okay, Mana, you can answer the questions.
Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this, that, the Son of Constantine.
Okay, Rasni Mataji, thank you. Macam classroom pas submit homework first baru boleh keluar.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Hantar ready, okay. Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Harini Mataji. Amuta Mataji, உங்க girls எங்க? What did they offer today?
We offer apple,
Apple. Oh.
strawberry juice. Ini aku கூப்பிடுறேன் Mataji.
Can.
Akshaya,
Sita.
Akshaya, Adrika.
Sita, are you there? Sita Sarveshwari, Anda di sana?
Yes, tengah buat ka?
You know that the Darshata I told you?
Yes.
The mom is in this class.
Oh, yes.
She's here.
Ini semua kacau lah. Ini dua budak kacau party.
24
Hi, Akshara and Akshada.
This is Adrik.